Yesterday, RFK Jr.'s confirmation hearings happened, and they were like the Democrats actually, thankfully, were very aggressive with him because it's extremely dangerous. I mean, this man is a lunatic, and Health and Human Services is no joke. So
he's an aristocrat that thinks America is too unhealthy to insure.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like you two are addicted to seed oils.
I know. I need my fix.
Shooting up sunflower seed oil, you know.
I mean, he's okay with maybe needles for some things, perhaps just to get his muscles to be like gargantuan and bloated, and that weird red thing that's always on in his undertone, the undertone of his skin. I mean, not to be too shallow here, but I know he doesn't believe in sunscreen. He really looks like a catcher's mitt. His face is just so leathery. It's like, dude, just at least wear a hat. At least wear a hat.
If there's any sign that Americans are unhealthy, it's that so many people idolize the way RFK Jr. looks.
Right.
Like he's clearly pin and test. I personally think that and this is going to sound incredibly rude because it is, I think his skin reminds me of, remember when Lady Gaga wore that meat dress to the to that award show?
Of course I do.
That's his skin looks like what the meat dress looks like now, because they have it preserved out there and like it's kind of jerkified, and that's what like he looks like. And people will like uncritically go, he looks great. He doesn't even look great for 72.
No, he does not look great. He looks like he's juiced up on something, and that's all I'll say. Anyway, let's maha all over the place here with Bernie Sanders asking him about the onesies that he sells on his website while claiming not to be anti-vax.
But you told the people in New Hampshire that it was their right. All right, let me do a last question here because I'm running out of time. I think the gist of what you were trying to say today is you're really pro-vaccine, you want to ask questions. You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unvaxxed, Unafraid. Next one is sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is No Vax, No Problem. Now you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
Yeah, that was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that call. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with leadership.
Are you supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines. I want good science and protect.
But you will not tell the organization you founded not to continue selling that product. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Blackburn.
Whew. All right, Bernie, handing it to him. I mean,
will say, it's not even an original onesie. It's not even an original onesie design. Like you can get an unvaxxed, unafraid baby onesie, and you have been able to get those for like years from basically any conspiracy cranks website. So he's a plagiarist, and he's unethical. But yeah, no.
I mean, he said on Lex Friedman in 2023, quote, "There is no vaccine that's safe and effective." And he has the gall to come out there. And in the same interview, he said the polio vaccine.
Lex didn't let me finish. I was actually going to say something very reasonable after that. He's a chicken shit.
He's lying.
Yes. This is the argumentative thing. This is a Mott and Bailey fallacy, which is like you take a position in the comfort of maybe a podcast saying something like no vaccines are safe or women shouldn't be in combat roles. And then when you actually get called on that, you have to retreat to an actual secondary, more reasonable position, which is, actually, I like some vaccines, but I just got to be clear about the science. Or, oh, I think women should be in combat roles, but we have to have standards. It's chicken shit. And every anti-vaxxer does this. And we didn't even play this. Maybe I can try to find it. Maybe it's on the sound sheet. RFK's asked about his like whole bodily autonomy stance that all these anti-vaxxers like to pretend about. And then in the same sentence, he panders to the right on abortion.
And backtracked his own statements on that, which were pro-abortion in the past, back when he was a liberal.
And this is the truth of every anti-vax person. And I think we turn the sights on them now, is they're all chicken shits. They are adults that are afraid of needles, and they are being politically manipulated because of their fear. And it's time we stop fucking listening to them.
They are folks who are essentially libertarian hippies that have fallen into conspiracism and paranoia and have been manipulated by guys like RFK, who literally know better based on exactly what Matt is saying right there, because he knows he's lying, to feel like their healthcare is a personal consumptive choice based on what oils they ingest, what vaccines they take.
And you want me to do something that's for the good of everybody?
No.
I'm about myself.
It's libertarianism. It is personalized healthcare, and a rich guy like RFK, you can put, chicken feet into a blender and drink it, or, go falconing like he's some, it's literally like, he reminds me of that. I mean, I know he hasn't killed anybody, but like, what's that movie with the DuPont? I don't know that.
I don't know that.
Well, the Samoa thing, we could get to that maybe later, but.
I thought you meant like he hunts people for sport. I kind of assume that's what you meant.
Well, I was thinking he's like that DuPont guy from the movie that Channing Tatum starred in, and Steve Carell played him. It was like an Oscar nominee back in the day.
The wrestling team, Foxhound or whatever it's called.
But he was a rich like DuPont heir that had all these like very specialized interests that only a very like wealthy, overeducated, but insulated person could have. And that's how I feel about RFK. But can we play that confrontation with him and Bernie? So I guess this happened off air. This was at one point a verbal spat between the two of them.
So it's John DuPont.
John DuPont, thank you.
From workers all over this country. Workers with not a nickel from corporate.
The single largest pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but you have not answered the last question. You have not answered my question. How do we make America healthy if you don't guarantee healthcare?
So this is today. This just happened. This is a part of this. He's 2 days of hearings. Okay. So that's him accusing Bernie Sanders of being in the pocket of the pharmaceutical lobby. I have got news for you. Besides the health insurance industry, the second industry that would probably be most oppositional to a Medicare for all system, which Bernie Sanders ran on twice, would be the pharmaceutical industry.
And also alternative medicine.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. All the people selling you supplements and all this stuff that Matt hat, and I know whatever. I'm doing the Amanda Show thing. I don't care. It's funny to me. That they're appealing to is like it's about just being hucksters and selling more products to people instead of what Bernie's vision of healthcare is.
Medicare for all. He said it there.
Medicare for all, which is everybody having access to it and then being empowered over it, not in like what supplement you're going to purchase from some shady website, but the fact that you can go to the hospital and not worry about getting bankrupt, the fact that you can afford your insulin medication, that your child can go to the dentist for free. That's the vision.
Let's be very clear. This is exactly what I said before we went into the fun half, which is that this RFK shit is a psyop protecting the capitalists in the healthcare industry. Bernie's trying to say, hey, if you care about making America healthy, why don't we give Medicare for all? And RFK says, well, you got all these donations from pharma, not even from the corporate headquarters, but the workers in pharma, which, by the way, I will say I think workers in all industries should be the ones trusted over the heads of those industries. And I think that's I don't have a conspiratorial view of medicine in general that every single person that goes into these fields wants to poison you, you fucking psychos.
Yeah.
And so why are we even pandering to this shit? It's because there's billions of dollars being put towards perverting this effort that we need to decommodify healthcare and trying to poison the well against it. And Bobby Kennedy and all of his fluffers and media like Jimmy Dore are party to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Brandon, sorry, you want to say something?
I was going to say he gives conspiracy theorists like me a bad name because ultimately he's a perfect example of what, and this is what Matt was saying too, somebody who takes like what is easy to understand, structure that has incentives that will incentivize a certain way to behave. And I'm talking about the pharmaceutical companies. I'm talking about the large health systems and the health insurance conglomerates that work together to drive up, the cost of healthcare in America. And it's trying to supplant that very simple narrative, that very simple thing that's occurring as a result of profit motives with some sort of like widespread conspiracy theory that posits that it's, Jewish people or, the deep state leftists or some, other thing besides capitalism and capitalists that is causing healthcare to go up. It's meant to distract people from like the true cause of it, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And it appeals to the vanity, people's vanity and ego that they can, that they're better equipped to diagnose themselves than doctor, that they're better equipped to navigate their own health or the health of their children than medical professionals. And that's how you sucker people into believing something like that, because believing the truth about the way capitalist incentives like have driven costs up in healthcare is difficult and it's big and it's upsetting and it makes you feel disempowered, especially if you understand all the barriers to getting that problem fixed. And if you just tell people they can take Garcinia Cambogia, that makes them feel better. And it also fits within the framework that people understand liberation in America, which is consumerism. Yep. So it's like, empowerment through consumerism. And it also like strokes their ego, like about like, oh no. And it was funny with the Joe Rogan thing too, where like you don't like big pharma, but in reality, you're just picking one big pharma product over another. So it's not about not liking big pharma. It's about thinking that you're more equipped with, with your 1 year of science education in high school or whatever that you remember than like doctors. And that's just about like how. And
it was geology too.
These guys, I'm anti-pharma, but I do have monthly testosterone injections that if somehow that sort of lifeline to providing those goes away, I'm going to become a physical mess because I rely on those. And these are the people that are attacking trans healthcare. It's insane, man. It's really, we're through the fucking looking glass.
Foxcatcher was the name of the movie. Thank you very much. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the people who always warn about like poisoning your body with all these things, they're the ones who take more shit than anybody, honestly. They're the ones pumping themselves with who knows what and taking all sorts of pills and supplements, like the whole natural living thing. Let's see you actually commit to that then, but they don't do that.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.